There's another question in the back of the room.
My name is Brian Warren. I'm a UAA alumni living in the area. I saw on, I think it was on Margie had a slide when you were talking about the for-profit investments that Siri made. You had private equity and venture capital listed. And I was wondering if those were startups or funds that were Alaska-focused or nationally, or just a little bit more about that.
We have been in the private equity funds for quite a number of years, and we happen to have significant amount of Siri capital placed with Carlyle. We also have placed significant funds early on with entity like KKR and Hellman and Friedman. So it has been part of Siri's investment strategy for a number of years. We do have one group that is sort of a smaller venture capital fund that we're in. But for the most part, we have been in a select number of private equity funds where we know the managers and understand the philosophies on how they will go about their business. And it's so far, it has been very successful for us. I think I would leave it to David to predict the future, but at any rate, and they were not Alaska-based. They were based throughout the country and the world.
I would just add that Siri was an innovator in investing in private equity, but also did some other very innovative things over many years, including taking advantage of its special status granted under federal laws. And very often they were able to participate in certain programs that, as a result of their being a minority-owned company, they were able to get special benefits from the federal government. That very often made them very attractive to private equity firms as partners. And increasingly, you saw throughout the United States a number of Alaska Native corporations like Siri teaming up with private equity firms to make telecommunication investments and other things where the federal government gave special privileges to or rights to the Alaska Native corporations, and the private equity firms were very incented to team up with them for that reason. And that likely will continue for some time as well.
I think we have time for two more questions. Anyone else? I would like to offer to Senator Lyman Hoffman or Representative Bob Herron the opportunity to say a few words if there's anything you'd like to add. There's so much we did not have time to talk about tonight. Anything you'd like to add?
Just one point that I'd like to make that that hasn't been said, that with the development of the Alaska gas line, I mean the oil line, and the billions of dollars that we've been able to benefit from, we've turned non-renewable energy resource into a renewable resource, which is the Alaska Permanence Fund. And I think that that is a model that no other nation has been successful in doing. And today we have $33 billion in the bank as a result of that. And hopefully we'll be able to do something similar once we get our gas line going.
Thank you. Bob, would you like to?
Fran, thank you. And Alice, thank you very much for this. And I think that the panel has brought to tonight is a perspective, starting with David. He, shows, how easily it is to get in debt. Dan has shown us how hard it is to develop something, and of course Fran and Margie and the Senate President have shown that of the hard work that we've all done. Of course, Senator Hoffman is from Western Alaska, as well as I am. Fran is the former Lieutenant Governor of Alaska, and has a love for Western Alaska. Margie's family is from Western Alaska. Gary is from Western Alaska. And Western Alaska, though we're not in the rail belt, it's in our best interest, as well as America's interest, to develop a resource that makes Alaska strong, makes America strong. And so, again, Alice, thank you very much. And to all that come with interest in Alaska, it's in your best interest that we develop Alaska properly.
One other point that I'd like to make for those historians is that if Alaska was divided in two, Texas would be the third largest state in the union.
Well, as you can tell, we're very proud of our state. We're very proud of its bounty. We're very proud of its tradition. We're very proud of the Alaska Native people and the new model of an Alaska Native Corporation strategy, which is beneficial not only to its people, but to the state's future. I am very appreciative of the fact that Lyman mentioned the Alaska Permanent Fund. The Alaska Permanent Fund was actually created by the voters in a constitutional amendment in 1976, which took a quarter of the oil revenues and put it into the permanent fund. So every year we've been saving alongside of the spending and the development that has taken place. And that has really empowered us to have a future long into the future that we otherwise would not have had. And I couldn't agree more with Senator Huffman that it is a model that others could and should use around the world for having that non-renewable resource last in perpetuity if invested wisely and managed correctly. So with that, I think I will stop. And again, thank you all for coming tonight. And we do hope that you will come back to Alaska House, and we hope that you will come visit us in Alaska. Good night.